Hi friends, welcome to WebChamp. So in this video, I'm going to discuss one of the Power BI interview question. So if you are preparing for the Power BI interview, so this question is very important for you. So obviously when we make the connections with the data, so how you can get the data into the Power BI, or what are the different types of connection mode we can say, or storage mode we can say in Power BI, right? So there are different ways to connect with the data. So we will see one by one how you can use, and each one has the different purposes, different advantages over the each other, right? So storage modes determine how the data is stored and accessed in your data model. Obviously what we do is, when you come to the Power BI, we load the data and we create the model here. We build the relationship, we perform the calculations, we add the columns, we add the tables using the DAX. And obviously these relationships leverages and add advantages for the visualizations, right? So relationship is basically used for the data filtration. So now when you make the connection with data source, any specific, any type of data source, so you can define how you want to load the data into the Power BI, how you want to store the data, or how Power BI should handle the data, you can define. So first mode is import mode. So if I go here, okay, I'll just show you. If I go here, I'll select SQL Server or Analysis Service, you can select. So here you will be able to see you have an option to either select a direct query or import mode. So these options will not be available for files or many other data sources, because there the default storage mode will be import. But in case if you want to change, so you can change it to the direct query, but this is again possible with the cloud storages, not with the file type of storages, right? So what will happen in import mode, or when you should use the import mode, everything we will discuss in detail. Okay, so import mode is commonly used for the performance and flexibility. So Power BI has lots of DAX. So each type of DAX, each DAX formula is supported in import mode. So in import mode, Power BI import a snapshot of data from the source into its internal in a memory called in a memory engine that is called Vertipack. Okay. So to process the data in Power BI model here, when the data is loaded into the Power BI, so there is something called Vertipack engine that will compresses the data, okay, to optimize the performance and store the data into the PBIX file. Okay. So meaning this is what the file which you are seeing here, the one which I opened, is houses a data. That's why you are able to view the data here. You are able to view the data here. Right. So Power BI loads the data into the memory, that is nothing but import mode. Once the data is imported, all type of interaction like filters, visual DAX calculations can be performed in the memory only, in the this files memory, and which makes it extremely faster as compared to other types of mode. Even whenever you use the import mode, it is possible to refresh the data manually. Okay, here you can come and you can say refresh the data. This is for the desktop. Okay, but if you publish the report on the service, you will be able to schedule the refresh. So in import mode, data will not be updated automatically. You need to perform a refresh either by scheduling or by triggering the refresh button. So advantages, if you ask me, of the import mode, so it is better for the, meaning it is good for the fast performance. If you are looking for the performance, then all type of modeling support. So you can create new columns, tables, you can create the relationships and measures very easily in import mode. You will not have any kind of restrictions in Power BI features on the import mode. Okay, then obviously all type of DAX functions are available without any restrictions in import mode. Complex visualizations, all type of visuals, Power BI visuals and features are supported for the import mode. So everything, meaning that there is no limitations, but still there are few limitations. One is what we already discussed, that you need to refresh your data manually or by scheduling. Otherwise, you will not get updated data. Okay. File size will be the another limitations, because see, for a very large data set, the Power BI file size will be a large, and it will use the more memory, right? Another disadvantage is refresh time. See, if your data set is very large and if you are creating a copy, or meaning copying a data into Power BI, so that refresh time will be a large. So refreshing large data set can take a longer time, and that may increase the load on the server or gateway, right? So this is how the import mode is used. So advantages we discussed, and how to import, it's very easy if you make the connections with the source. Some cases it will ask to select the type of mode, but most of the cases it is default import mode. So import mode is used when you need a high performance dashboard, when you don't need a real time data. Then if you want to manage the data refresh by schedules, so import mode is good. And if you want to build custom data models and use full DAX capabilities, import mode is used, right? So these many things justifying the import mode. So now let's talk about the direct query mode. So another mode is, if I go to this, okay, if I go to this analysis service, okay, again I'll select. You can enter the server detail, you can enter the database details, and you don't need to enter the DAX query or MDX query in direct query mode. It will make the connection with the server details, and then you will be able to select the model, and it will fetch the data, and that will be a kind of live connection. So you do not need to refresh a data in direct query mode. So data will be remains at a source. Whatever the query you will send to fetch the data, that will be executed at source, and data will be delivered to your Power BI visuals. Okay. So if I go here, okay, analysis service. So let me get the server details. So if you go to the workspace setting and inside that, if you click on the license info, you will be able to get a connection link to the Power BI service. So this will be my server link. Database, I can select or I can enter. I will say online sales. Okay. Now I'm going to make a direct query connection with the online sales database, meaning that that is the analysis service database. Okay. So you need to use your authentication method and make the connection. So if I make the connection, this will give me the list of tables available in that model. Okay, fine. Okay, this is it to show me the details. Okay, something is coming, not yet populated. Right. So this is how you can see in this. I have these many things. I would like to get the data from here. So this is fetching the tables, list of tables. Still, it is loading. Okay. So these many tables are there. So if I select one small, okay, I'm not going to select all. I'll select a small one because these tables are again already loaded as an import mode from the same source. Okay. So potential risk, it is just giving a warning that when you add a second data source, information from one data source might be included in the queries that are sent to other data source. Only add another source if you trust the owner and admin data. Okay, so this is what you just need to say. Okay, right. Automatically, it should fix. That is fine. So I'll say just got it, right? So this here, you can see the difference between direct query mode. So in direct query mode, you will not be able to see the data in Power BI because data is not loaded in the Power BI memory, right? So you can't see that. This is fine. But if you go to the import mode, you will be able to see the data. Another thing is, if I create a column, so you will be able to add a columns to the direct query mode, right? And even if you wants to access the data from that report to that table to imported any imported table from the direct query, so that is possible, but you will not be able to see a data. You can create a measures, you can create a columns, right? So this is how you can use the DAX. Even you can use this employee to in modeling also. So you will be able to email address to email address. Okay, I'm just dragging the data. Okay, so dim. Okay, one to one. I will say. Okay, this is both directional filter. It will apply. This is fine. And if I say make this active, why this is not on the department name duplicate value. Okay, cross filter direction both. Okay, so this relationship cannot be done, but yes, you can use that this table to build the relationships. In case of direct query, okay. So now if I select the table here in the model view, if I go to the properties here, if I go to the advanced, so I'm not able to see the options, but in some cases, meaning wherever it is possible, you will be able to select, instead of direct query, you will be able to select the dwell mode here. So based on the calculation, sometime it may switch automatically, it will switch to the import mode, automatically it will switch to the direct query mode. This is possible, but from here you need to change the storage mode. Right. I'm just deleting this. This is fine. Okay. I'm just deleting direct query mode. So now let's discuss what are the advantages of direct query mode and when to use direct query mode. So direct query allows Power BI to query the data from source in real time. Okay, meaning you don't need to, when you make the connection as a direct query, you don't need to perform a refresh. Automatically, it will load the data in real time. And the sooner data gets added into the table, it will be pulled into the Power BI. Instead of importing and sorting the data in the Power PBIX file, so you don't need to do anything in the PBIX file. Everything will be remains at. I mean, the data will be remains at source, right? And each interaction, meaning slicer change, filters, or visual refresh, triggers a live query to the underlying database, meaning the connection will remains live. And if you make the changes, that it will automatically internally it will modify the query as per your slicer selection, filter selections, or visual refresh, and accordingly data will be updated in your visuals, right? Because data is not in a Power BI. So Power BI does not store the data locally in direct query mode. This is what we saw. So queries are generated and sent directly to the source, meaning when you use the direct query as a connection mode or storage mode. So whatever the queries will be generated, that will be sent to the source, executed at the source engine, and data will be returned to the Power BI visuals. It retrieves only necessary data for each visual at a runtime, right? So you can understand the meaning of this. So only necessary data is pulled from the source. So the advantages of direct query: real-time data in import mode, you need to refresh or schedule to get the updated data. But in direct query, you don't need to do that. So data will be remains updated, automatically updated. So no need for the refreshes. No data duplications in import mode. Data may be a duplicate, but in case of direct query, data remains in the source system. So you do not need to duplicate the data. So data, meaning the way we create a copy of data into the Power BI file in import mode, that is not happening in direct query. It works with the large data set, meaning this is good. Direct query is good for the large data set to avoid importing massive fact tables into the Power BI. Avoids importing massive fact tables into the Power BI. So this is what we are going to avoid. Okay. So, but yes, obviously, if you come with the advantages, there are some disadvantages that we can see the limitations of direct query. So direct query reduce the performance, slower the performance of Power BI. It depends on the database speed, network latency, and the query optimization. So these things are going to matter. Meaning database speed is also going to play a role in the performance. Network latency is also going to play a role, and then query optimization is again another factor. that is going to affect the performance of Power BI. So each type of DAX, all the DAX are not supported on the DirectQuery. So not all DAX functions or Power Query transformations are supported. So that is another limitations. Limited data modeling. So you can't create complex calculated columns and tables in DirectQuery mode. So this is again another limitations. Visual limitations. Some visuals may not support DirectQuery mode, or some visuals may be restricted or disabled from Power BI for the DirectQuery connection mode, right? Because every time whenever you make the interaction, so that should that visual should modify the query, and if it is not possible with that visual, that is not supported. This is what the meaning. So when you can use the DirectQuery, when you require a real time or near real time data monitoring a dashboard, right? Your data set is too large to fit into the memory, change too frequently, then you can use the DirectQuery. Let's say you are working in regulated environments where data must remains in the source system, right? So DirectQuery connection can be used with the SQL Server database, Azure SQL database, Oracle SQL database, Snowflake, Amazon Redshift database, SAP HANA database, Google BigQuery. So these are the databases that supports the DirectQuery connection. So the DirectQuery is not supported by all the data sources, right? This is what I was trying to tell you. So in dwell mode, automatically the connection mode will be switched to improve the performance between import and DirectQuery table. So even I never used this dwell mode, but yes, this feature is available in Power BI. When you are using a composite model meaning one data source is the way I connected. Okay, one data source is connected as an direct query, another one is connected as an import, and if we are using both together in the same model, so we can say that is a dual model also, okay, or dual mode also. So what it does, it keeps the cache version of the data in memory, like import, meaning the data will not be in Power BI, but it keeps the cached version, right? And also sends the queries to the data source the way it happens in the direct query as and when needed. So this is what the dual mode. There is something called live connection mode also, right? So live connection again, when you're meaning we can say that when model is ready, already published, okay, so you have to use that model for the reporting purpose, then you can use the live connection. So this is again not supported for the many of the sources. Many of the more than 90% sources are not supported. Few sources like Azure sources or Azure SQL Server Analysis Service cubes are there, or Power BI datasets supports the live connection. Otherwise, every type of source is not supported the live connection. Here you will not be able to do a modeling, you will not be you will be able to only create a measures, not more than that, and you can create the visuals. So model is already created by someone else, you are going to use that model as it is for your reporting purpose. In that case, live connection is used. So live connection is a type of data connectivity in Power BI where your report connects directly to the published data set. Okay, so if you ask me how to do that, So if I select the Power BI semantic model, okay, so these are the models available. So you can see the type here. Okay, so this is data semantic models, right? So if I say connect, you can select the tables, how many tables you want to fetch or load. So if I select the tables and if I say submit, so it will load that model into my Power BI. So here, your report connects directly to the published dataset or certain data sources like SAS Cube software, meaning SQL Server Analysis Service Cube, without importing any data into the PBIX file. So again, in live connection, we are not going to import the data. Data will remains at source. Even you will not be able to perform the data modeling. So you can only create measures. Apart from that, you won't be able to create anything. No data stored in PBX file. So again, you will not be able to view the data in this, right? So let me close this just to show you how the live connection works. So we will load the model. Okay. So if I say blank and if I go to the Power BI data set, so this view table or table data view option will be disabled. If I say connect, and this is again live connection, meaning you can understand the data. You will not be able to see the table view here, right? This model is loaded. You will be able to see the model here. But you can see if I click on this modeling line or this connection line, so nothing is populated here. You won't be able to make the changes, right? So this model cannot be edited. You can only use the columns from this to create visuals. And this is how the live connection used. So if I select the product and brand name, okay, so now this is requesting a data from the source, right? And this is the fact sales online. If I take the sum of sales by brand name, so this data is directly coming from the Power BI service, the source where I made the connection, right? So this is all about the different types of storage modes or connection modes in Power BI. I hope you understood. If you have any questions, please do comment. Definitely, I would be able to explain. So I hope you like the content of this video. Thank you so much for watching the video. Have a nice day. Happy learning. Please do not forget to subscribe WebJam.